Hey everybody, I'm going to do a recipe review for you guys today. And it's kind of an unusual one. And let me go ahead and tell the story behind it before I give the actual recipe. So, sometimes you'll be looking through a magazine or looking through a website and you'll stumble across a recipe that's so off the wall and unusual that you think to yourself, no, they're either pulling my leg or this is really not going to taste good. But then you look at the ingredients and you start thinking, well, maybe. And you file it away for future reference. And one of these days, you think, I got to try that. I'm just too curious now. I got to try it. So you do. This is one of those recipes. So I was in my endocrinologist's office waiting for an appointment, and being an endocrinologist's office, they have diabetes magazines all over the lobby. So in the waiting room. So I'm looking through a diabetes lifestyle magazine and I'm looking at the recipe section. And I come across this recipe for zucchini and prune salad. And I'm thinking, what is this? Zucchini and prune salad? Okay, a little bit of background. I like prunes. Now, when I was a kid, my grandma used to make kolaches. My family on my dad's side of the family are Texas Czech, so Texas Czech Bohemian, and my grandma made the best kolaches ever. And one of the traditional kolache fillings is prune. And I grew up loving prune kolaches, so prune is something I've always liked. And I've never been one of those people that turns their nose up at prunes because, prunes remind me of awesome grandma pastries. So I got to thinking, okay, how are they utilizing prunes in a diabetic-friendly recipe? Because prunes, I don't eat them now because they're so sugary, like dried fruit in general is so sugary. So I got to looking at the recipe and I realized what they did. And I thought, well, okay, I kind of want to try this. So I took a picture of the page in the magazine with the recipe and got my ingredients together. Went ahead and made it this morning. It is fresh raw zucchini strips with the prunes in a soy sesame ginger vinaigrette. It's a real simple recipe. It's got a really nice kind of fresh Asian type of flavor profile. You take your zucchini and it's said to julienne it, which I did, and I did it the old school way with a cutting board and a sharp knife. You can use a mandolin if you have a spiralizer, or you just like to buy zucchini noodles at the produce department or the farmer's market. This is a good way to use zucchini noodles, I think. But you want 8 cups of spiralized or julienned or mandolin sliced zucchini strips. And I found that whenever I'm making some kind of zucchini salad where I'm going to be eating raw zucchini, I like to use the smaller zucchini, not the really foo-foo boutique, gourmet, tiny zucchini the size of your finger that still have the flower attached. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the smaller of the normal zucchinis, because to me, they have a milder flavor, the flesh is more tender, and they don't have mature seeds. So for this type of an application, they're perfect. So you want 8 cups of zucchini, julienned, cut into strips, spiralized, your choice. So you put that in a mixing bowl. And the prunes, you want 8 pitted prunes. So you're getting a serving is 1 cup, so you're getting 1 prune per cup. So yeah, there's a lot of sugar in a prune, but you're only getting 1 prune per serving. And the recipe said to cut the prunes paper thin. Well, if you've ever tried to cut dried fruit, cutting it paper thin is pretty much impossible. Because they're sticky and they're soft, but I cut it as thin as I could. So you mix your prunes in with your zucchini strips, your prune strips with your zucchini strips. And then you make your dressing. And your dressing is a simple sesame ginger soy vinaigrette. It is 2 tablespoons of unsweetened rice wine vinegar. You don't want to use the sweetened because it has a good amount of sugar in it. So you want to use the unseasoned. So just basic rice wine vinegar, 2 tablespoons of it. 1 tablespoon of light soy or tamari sauce, 1 tablespoon of grapeseed oil, a teaspoon of finely grated fresh ginger, a teaspoon of dark sesame oil, and a half a teaspoon of sriracha. And you kind of whisk that all together and make a dressing. Toss the zucchini strips and the prune strips with it, and put it in a container and stick it in the fridge and let it marinate and meld and get the flavors married. You want to do this, let it sit for at least a few hours. I made this at 6 in the morning. It is early afternoon now. I'm getting ready to eat lunch, and it's fine. If you can do it overnight, even better. But what happens is your zucchini starts to do the whole wet noodle thing, which you want. Your prunes start to break down, and they mix with the dressing and form a glaze. So the flavor of this is just a beautiful, sweet sesame vinaigrette. You've got the little bit of saltiness and the kind of umami from the soy. You've got that beautiful sesame oil flavor. You've got the vinegar. You've got a little bit of heat from the sriracha and the prunes. The prunes not only make it sweet, but prunes have a little bit of a fruity flavor to them. And they also have a little bit of a what I think is a deeper, richer flavor. And that gets in there too. So it's one of those things where the finished product is a little bit better than the sum of its parts. I'm going to take a little taste of this. It's really good. And it's surprisingly sweet for a diabetic dish, because those prunes really do disintegrate and get all their sugary goodness into that glaze. And I'm really surprised at the sugar and carb count that it's actually appropriate for my diet, because it actually tastes like it should be much higher in sugar. But when you think about it, one serving is one prune. Well, yeah, a prune is pretty, a prune is pretty sugar dense, but you're having all this nice raw zucchini, and it's meant to be a side served with protein. So it's really good. I'm thinking if you wanted to make it into a meal salad, you could maybe use some chilled stir-fried or grilled tofu. You could maybe use, if you wanted to keep it with plant protein, you could use some roasted or pan-fried and then chopped up tempeh. You could put some almond slices in it, would probably be really good. Almond slivers. If you wanted to, I'm just having it with some chicken. You could have it with whatever protein you want, and it seems pretty good. So don't discount something just because it looks weird. This actually turned out pretty good, and I'm going to be having this with some chicken, and this is going to be a pretty good, light, and healthy lunch. So hope you guys enjoyed this strange but delicious recipe. And maybe you'll try it. Maybe you're a weirdo like me and like prunes. If so, this is a way to have them without totally, loading yourself up with fruit sugar. So that's it for now. I'm sitting here looking at this and my mouth is watering, so I'm going to go eat my lunch, and I will see you guys later.